anything like this kind of thing before. So just bear with us, have fun. We're here to laugh. We're here to celebrate the shape of life, which can really mean anything. And that's the whole point of art, is to just make something. And that's what we're really proud of, is that we really made something to us that defines us at this point in our lives. And hopefully it'll define a wonderful future for us.
Preach on it. Yes.
You got it?
Preach on it.
What?
Preach on it.
Oh, preach on. So anyhow, I would like to do a wonderful introduction for this man. This is Mr. Michael Esser. He's very dear to us. We ran into him, I guess, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like love at first sight. You know, you just know. And we all knew it.
I ran into them.
Yeah, he courted us. He courted us. It was a nice courting period.
Yeah.
But when we sat down at Bongo Java, it was just like, yes, it just makes sense.
Yep.
And he's helped define us. He's helped shape us. He's helped us be us. Because that's all he cares about is getting the art out there into the world. And we want to do it the best way possible. And that's why we wanted to do it here at 16 Ton, because the studio is just amazing. I mean, you can feel the vibe now. I mean, that little board right behind you, that soundboard, Mike, where's that come from?
RCAB.
RCAB. Who recorded there? Elvis Presley, Jerry Lewis. I mean, come on. Who
Jerry
didn't?
Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis. Both of them.
No, just the one.
Just the one. But anyhow, this is Mike Esser. He's going to be the MC for us this evening, so please have a great time.
In case you didn't get it,
Thank
he's
you
our
all for coming.
producer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
just
our
in
producer.
case.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's our
he's our producer.
producer, engineer extraordinaire.
Cool.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna grab this because we're recording all this. So, obviously you all know this is Kink Ador. Got Sharon Koltick, Brad Naylor, Andrew Sovine. Obviously very well-talented people. Unbelievable. We want to talk, just kind of bring you through the whole creative process of everything that we did to create The Shape of Life and establish our relationships, the previous record that we did, or EP I should say. To understand really the journey of The Shape of Life, which is the new EP, we're going to start off going back to the first EP, which is the first song we all actually ever put our minds together on, called Animal, which is off the EP called Animal. And at this point I kind of want to open up conversation between me and the band, and you know, when we mention Animal, what do you guys think about? Like, what makes Animal important to all of us?
I think that song is really special because it was one of the first songs that sounded like something different than any other stuff that we've been listening to or trying to replicate. And Animal was a really powerful, positive song for us to write because it was about this journey of kind of finding yourself and finding freedom. And so that was exactly what we were going through when we were making music.
Right.
And it was just cool because it was the first time we really had started thinking through the whole process of, you know, working together as a group and writing stuff and creating grooves and then to finally come to the studio and record it and hear it and have it polished up. It was a very exciting process. So.
Here and the sounds that you were able to get just from the drums up through the bass, through the guitars, through to the vocals. It just defined us.
Hearing
at
it
that point.
finally as you heard it.
Yeah.
Like, not even knowing it was in your head, but
Right.
finally something made sense.
That's why it's so wonderful to work with you, because that's how it is.
Yeah.
It's like we may not be able to articulate it exactly, but you're like, I got it.
Yeah.
I know what you're going for.
That was the main thing that brought me to Kink Ador. I saw them play, I don't know, a year and a half before I even before I even talked to them. And their first show I saw, I was like, man, they're almost really good. Like I saw, I could just tell, like, man, I can hear the record and I can hear it. It's just, in a year from now, they're going to have the material, they'll have the songs. And that's really how it panned out. It worked. Like a year and a half later, came up to him, talked to him for a few times. And then as Brad mentioned before, we, went to Bongo Java, talked about some production ideas, and a couple pre-productions later, we started recording Animal.
Yep.
Let's play.
Let's do it.
The dust is settling in my throat. It's dying.
we wanted to try to make more songs that sounded just like that. And so we started writing, and we put a record together, and it ended up being called The Shape of Life after one of the songs. And it just was about us being creative artists and having that struggle of making it into something worthwhile and something that other people would actually want to hear and listen to. So
Yeah,
Having that struggle combined with knowing that you have this product that is, you know, so easily supported that we all have so much passion behind. So
yeah.
that's, you know, really the point of the artistic side of it, just still pushing it.
And that's what's helped us develop as artists, as a collective unit too. The more that we were working, the more that we were writing, and to be able to be like, all right, so we have these tunes, we're ready, you know, ready for Mike. And then to come in here and be able to realize all of the things in your imagination, put them down on tape, and say to you, here's the shape of life right now. That's why I love the title of REM's record, Out of Time, because it's such a beautiful moment in time, in life. And so when you have an album called, I'm not crying, I had a bubble in my throat. Is that it's such a great way to step forward and step up and keep yourself fresh, keep yourself inspired. I mean, that's what art is. You have to keep moving and keep changing. And I think that that's what's really great about the three of us, is that we feed off of each other so much.
And if we heard something like, oh, it'd be great to have trumpet here, then Sharon or I spent hours of frustration figuring out how to play trumpet.
Yeah.
Or if we needed whatever, we decided to figure out a way to do it ourselves rather than have anyone else come in. So it makes it really special.
Yeah. That's actually a really important thing, is that this was the first record that we made as the three people here, the four people. I mean, you can be a band, but when you go into a studio, yeah, you may be the greatest person on the board if you're part of the band, but what really, you can't do it. You can't do what Mike does.
Yeah.
And to have him be a part of our inner circle, a part of our family, and a part of the artistic vision, to have him understand it so clearly, I mean, that's just magic. And that's what I love about us three meeting. It's just magic. Moments in time that are magic to you, cherish those, because those are the ones that you need to hang on forever.
Yep. That's very true.
I'm not eager to make amends. I wanna take a little more time. If there's something that is in it for me, you better know I feel nice.
because as a groove, it's really important to have that solid foundation, because we really want that movement to happen where you're feeling like the ocean, and it just goes. And so she comes in with this great idea. She's like, I got these words that might fit here, this melody, and it's just like, man. So it's just a simple chord progression, but it just flows so well. And it gave, as the drummer, it just gave me so much freedom to be like, man, you could do so many things, but let's keep it simple. Because you have these beautiful words that just lay right on top, this great melody, and then Drew comes in and it's just like, bam! Just the glue of it all. So then this part comes up, and I've been imagining like this big, drum break happening, and it's just like, yeah, you just have this like dance thing going on. And then it's like, we love the trumpets. These two are great trumpet players. I mean, they've been playing it for years.
That's not true.
Just go with it. Just go with it. Go with it. Yeah, there's some similarities, but when you're playing it live, you got to have that vibe of let's show something a little bit different. So they're not exactly like the record, but they're a very close representation, obviously. But that's always such a great moment in the set, is to just all of a sudden it's just the drums, and then you got these horns.
It also brings back that thought that we had earlier about simplifying the band and really finding the core, which ended up being this awesome 3-piece rock band.
Yeah.
On Animal, on that recording, we had a dear friend of ours, Scotty Huff, come in and play trumpet on Animal, and he wrote the parts and arranged it and played it and hired the other guy to play saxophone on it. And,
Yeah.
or no, that was
It was Baby in a
I can't remember who that was, but anyway, moving on. But so we did that, and then all of a sudden, like a week later, we're doing something to be, it'd be cool to have this little trumpet part. We should call Scotty, and then Sharon shows up with a trumpet, and I'm like, you played trumpet? Like, you guys both played trumpet? Go practice.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can do it, and it's the same kind of thing. Like, let's get, not that we don't appreciate the input of everyone else,
Right.
but bring it down to that solid foundation. Is something I feel also Barbarians could have never happened with a 5-piece rock band.
No.
Yeah, I think also we're 3 people, and we have to figure out ways to pull it off live. So
Yeah.
And that's important.
I told Mike when we started, I said, give me 5 minutes. If I cannot get the part in 5 minutes, we'll call Scotty.
Right.
But thankfully we got it.
Yep.
So I was like, I don't want to waste time.
We had a few sessions after that too, where we finished everything up. Like, so Sharon, go home and practice trumpet.
Yeah. But it worked out. Cool.
You guys want to talk about inspiration on that song anymore, or?
I think we can
I think
play
we're
that
good.
one, yeah.
Get into the title track,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shape of Life to Come.
So this one is the one that the record is named after.
Nice.
And it's got a nice funky groove.
come. I was born unknown with an ordinary name, but I've advanced myself. I've had huge gains. I've got titles on my crown, and I'll never hit the ground. Oh, there's nothing to fear. It's the shape of life to come.
This is so exciting the way, because the way that Drew works, he's not a typical person by any means of the word. Him walking down the street is very untypical, but the way he does it, you have to watch. And that's how he approaches this 6-string instrument, is just, all right, I got 6 strings. They make pedals. I got an imagination. Let's see what I can do with it. And it's just, that's why it's such a joy to have him around, because it's like, you crave imagination being in a band, because that's what makes a band, is the imagination. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Andrew Imagination Sovine. You can call him Drew Baby for short.
So here's a funny story about. I was
Very
inspired. I was inspired by a Steely Dan record to come up with this. Found this part,
And I love it.
and Brad loves the part. He does not love where I came up with it.
I appreciate and respect Steely Dan nonetheless.
Anyway,
But
Brad
it's just
hates.
I'm not going to listen to it while I'm
Brad hates the story.
hanging out in the summertime,
It's fun.
drinking soda water on the back of the truck.
It's always fun before.
With a dog.
Where are
and a
you
lawn
from?
chair.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Steely Dan's not there with you.
No. They hang. It
Because
really is great.
the way I came up with the bass line is I was doing my nerd practice and was playing with some kind of whole tone scale. I was like, I wonder if I could figure out a way to do these weird intervals in a song. And I did.
And it worked.
And it worked. And
Practice
no
your
one
skills,
questioned
kids.
my authority.
You know,
Because
the
that's half the battle when you're writing a song, is just presenting it with conviction, because
Right.
you may not be that sure that it's amazing or even halfway interesting, but for some reason, you know, they never call my bluff, and we
Right.
get all the way into the studio and record it, and at the end of the day, it sounds great.
Like,
So,
imagine the Shape of Life, had we not had the drum force thing and you walked in. So it's just boom, boom.
I'm just gonna play this one note, guys, and you just jam on,
Come
man.
on.
Yeah.
Well, let's check out Bellamore.
Yeah.
Do you wanna
Huh?
nix our new intro?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
just go
okay.
into it.
pretty hard to do a three-piece band anyway, and especially to do it convincingly and fill up sound. And that was just like the start of it, and it was just like, oh, okay, that's it. And after a while, we all came to the agreement, like, that's it, you know. And it's just been it's been a blast ever since, and a great ride so far, and will be for ad infinitum. Oh, you don't speak Latin, do you?
Stultus Asinos.
I have to get a stool now for this
Oh,
next
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, you're in the pop machine world. Tempos are really important. You got to keep that right on the mark and go down that road at that speed and don't fluctuate. So when we play this
Especially Brad has this issue.
yes,
Me.
I'm a bit hyperactive when it comes to the whole living experience. I can attest because my mother's here and you've all met her and hung out. But listen to the feel that we started off with, and then when we hit into what's called the chorus, and when you feel that change, how it just boom, bumps you right up. You just start.
It was just a
cruising
funny
right
process
down.
because I was like, okay, the first part's slow and the second part's fast, and it didn't work with both of them at the same tempo.
But it goes
so
back and forth.
It goes back and forth.
So do it.
So there
Let's
we
do
go.
it.
Let's play it already. And this
Shut
is the
up
last.
and
This is the
play.
last of the studio tracks on the record, and it'd be the last of our ceremony here. I'll play one just.
You make it seem like I'm just another one. I do have the very best of everything. So come on, please, just tell me so. If I'm so good, tell me so. Tell me so. If you're for real, just tell me so. 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 I've got high expectations for all the ways your love could please me.